This is Valley News Live at 6.
My husband said it was a hoax after we, knew the amount of the check. So that's kind of what triggered us to say this is a scam and called the whistleblower hotline.
We've heard it before. You get a check in the mail in an amount larger than whatever you're selling. You deposit the check and use the remaining money to buy whatever is asked. The money is overdrawn and you've been scammed. But a family in Harwood says they were almost duped in a less common way. Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz joins us in the studio with more. Rose?
Yeah, we often hear about scammers posting false listings on sites like Craigslist. But this time, a local couple tells me they were trying to sell something and someone claiming to be a buyer tried to scam them. Tammy Ludwig says she and her husband posted this stove on Craigslist for $350. A man texted them saying he'd like to buy it and sent a check for $1,990, saying the remaining money would go to delivering the stove back to him. Not only that, but the text came from a California number. The Bank of America check was from Long Island City, New York, and it was sent from Valley Cottage, New York. Meanwhile, the text came from a Larry. The mail came from a Donna. That's when the family smelled scam and called our whistleblower hotline.
I'm a normal person too, and I fell victim to this hoax. And anybody can. My goal is just to let others know that this can happen to you also.
Luckily, they caught it before it cost them any money. Of course, I tried calling that California number, but it went straight to voicemail. I left a message, but something tells me I won't hear back from anyone.
All right, thanks, Rose. Local banks tell us if you ever question a check that's been sent, bring the check in. The bank can put a hold on it or advise you not to use the check until it's cleared. And just before this aired, the family tells us they sold the stove to a person who met with them in person with cash. This call came to us through our whistleblower hotline. If you need help with a possible scam, call us at 237-6576 and leave your tip. This is what it looked like in Fargo earlier this afternoon when storms rolled through. Well, this looks actually pretty good. Earlier, though, rain and thunder and lightning, and then the muggy conditions settled in. Are we all done for the day, or is there more moving in? Hutch is here with No Wait Weather. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. As we take a look at the satellite and radar, we did have those passing showers this afternoon, some lightning and some rain here in the FM area, some severe weather up near Lake of the Woods. Those are pushing into the arrowhead of Minnesota. But behind that, we're getting a clearing line. A cold front is getting ready to push through. And as that cold front makes its way to the south and to the east this evening, we could see some isolated severe thunderstorm development. Again, the main risks tonight will be large hail and damaging wind as we go through the evening. So your planner looks like this. We have a few clouds out to the west associated with that cool front that will be pushing its way towards us. We'll keep our eyes on the risk for that as we go through. If anything becomes strong to severe, we'll let you know about it right away. Temperatures will be slipping into the 70s tonight with wind eventually switching directions and becoming more westerly. And for some of us, that will point to a cooler day tomorrow. I'll have details on what you can expect the rest of the night and tomorrow here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Fergus Falls police need your help finding 18-year-old Tristan Wheeler. He has an open warrant for criminal damage to property and burglary. If you have any information, you can call Fergus Falls Police, 218-998-8555. Bail has been set at $10,000 for a woman accused of starting an apartment building on fire and then allegedly breaking into a home and terrorizing the homeowners with a taser. Court documents state the suspect, 26-year-old Rebecca Lou Kalana, wanted to speak with the man who lives in the apartment where the fire was first reported, but that man didn't want to talk to her. That man says around 10:30 Wednesday night, he noticed smoke coming from under his door, and when he opened the door, he saw the flames. About an hour later, police received a report of the fire suspect breaking into a house across the street from the apartments. When police arrived, they arrested Kalana and found she was carrying a lighter. Court documents say Kalana tried to get out of the handcuffs, and when police uncuffed her to tighten them, she tried to punch an officer. She's now being held on multiple charges and will be back in court in August.
I'd really just like to remind parents that your voice matters and that your stories really matter, and right now is the time to really come forward and tell those stories.
They say stories have the power to change hearts and minds, and that's exactly what a group of Fargo parents and advocates are hoping to do. Today, they met to talk about how sharing their stories can change the conversation when it comes to special education in Fargo. Valley News Team's education reporter Veronica Marshall was there and has more on why they're speaking directly to you.
Katie Barnum knows stories have power. That's why she's sharing her story about her son.
He's a very bright kid, and so if he's done it once, he doesn't really have the patience to sit there and do it again. He knows that he's ready to move on. And so when he's forced to continue to do that repetition, that's very challenging for him.
When that happens at school, the small 7-year-old is forcibly removed from his classroom. Now, Barnum is hoping her words will move the community to help change his story before it's too late.
I want my kids to grow up in a community where they value diversity, and I think that starts here in the school.
Her sense of urgency comes as the Fargo School District looks into creating a special education-only facility. Barnum says the move wouldn't only hurt her son. Other students would also lose opportunities to learn and grow.
Kids with disabilities are not going to go away, and so if we help them get along and understand those differences now, it's going to make for a better, stronger community in the future.
She's one of several parents who attended a workshop today to learn how to tell her story so that the community will listen. Because the group says when everyone is on the same page, communities and stories can change.
Our kids are not monsters. They're not disciplined. This doesn't have to do with parenting. This has to do with needed services. And if they could see that those services would make such a difference and that we're really advocating for services for our kids, I think it would change the story.
I think to those people who are reading letters from families like mine, keep an open mind, and there's multiple sides to every story.
In Fargo, Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
We reached out to Fargo Public Schools to include their perspective on this story, but they declined to comment. 1 week from today, you're going to have to keep your hands off your phone when you drive in Minnesota. The new hands-free law officially goes into effect August 1st, meaning you will have to change your ways of talking, texting, listening to music, and getting directions.
You need to be able to use your phone with voice commands or one touch only. You're not going to be able to hold on to your phone or hold it up to your ear. You need to be able to hit a button and say, call so-and-so, and it would be able to call that person.
Meehan says some of the best things you can do would be to buy a phone clip to keep on your dashboard or air vents, along with a Bluetooth converter. Police say your first citation will cost you $50. Your second violation will jump to $275. The National Buffalo Museum in Jamestown will soon roll out a new look for their tourism scheme. Fans of the museum are familiar with Dakota Miracle, the albino bison who died at the end of June. With billboards and other imagery featuring the animal, the museum said they are prepared to rebrand.
It was difficult, right? I mean, we've had this identity of being a home of White Cloud for such a long time, and Dakota Miracle being White Cloud's son. It felt like we continued that legacy on and that connection. And now we move on, and now we continue being the Buffalo City.
This is the first time in 20 years that a white bison will not be living with the herd. Later on Valley News Live at 6, a big find in Bowman County.